This is Viterbi Voices.
Coming to you from the University of Southern California, Viterbi School of Engineering.
We're here to give you the inside scoop on research, classes, student life, and so much more.
All of these shared by students, faculty, alumni, and other members of the USC community.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Viterbi Voices. As usual, I'm one of your hosts. My name is Paul Ledesma. I'm the Executive Director of Undergraduate Admission here at the USC Viterbi School of Engineering.
Hi, everyone. My name is Saafiyah Patel. I'm a senior studying computer science, and I'm doing my master's in engineering management.
Okay, Saafiyah, what's going on? What's happening? How are you?
I I can't tell if I'm getting sick or if it's just my allergies. What's going on? I know I mentioned this in the last episode already.
Yeah.
But I'm just, I don't know.
It's like everything right now.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of sickness going around. There's a lot of like colds, and I think that this weather, this like really, really dry weather and the windy weather, and I think there's a lot of allergy issues. It's I mean, it's almost 80 degrees today.
Yeah. And I'm still in a hoodie because my apartment's always, for some reason, like 65 degrees.
Once you go outside, it's hot. Once you go outside, it is super hot today. Yes, I was cold this morning. It was like 45 this morning when I woke up, and it's almost 80 degrees right now. So like this is, it's just weird. It's just totally
back
weird.
and forth. But yeah, I feel like everyone I know is sick. So we're all just like, my roommate just got taken down too. So I'm staying away from her as much as possible, but hopefully nothing worse happens.
Yeah, it's cold and flu season, right? So there you go. What's happening with this episode? What's this episode all about?
This episode, I interview two of my friends, Sejal and Ivan. They are both in a club called ASCE, which is American Society of Civil Engineers. But they are both environmental engineers because there is a subgroup within ASCE that is more environmental specific. So we dived into everything about that club, their experience as environmental engineers, other clubs they're involved in, like Formula SAE, which is the racing, or they build like the race cars. Yeah, we just get into a bunch of different environmental clubs and just their experience at USC and the community they've built through being an environmental engineer and being in the clubs they're a part of.
Fantastic. So this is a great exploration of the ideas of studying civil and environmental engineering from a student organization and involvement perspective. Let's get out of the way and hand it right back over to you to start exploring this conversation, and we will be back here right afterwards to get caught up on some other stuff. See you then.
Hi, everyone. I am one of your co-hosts again. My name is Saafiyah Patel. You probably heard me in the intro just a couple minutes ago, but just a reintroduction. I am a senior studying computer science, doing my master's in engineering management. And today, I know I haven't done a body of the episode in a little while. I think almost a year now, actually. It's been a good minute. No, I did one last semester, but that's the only one I've done in a while. So this is going to be a fun episode. I have my friend Sejal with me here today. So I'm going to let her introduce herself. And then she also brought her friend. And then we'll get into what this episode is really about.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sejal. I'm a junior studying environmental engineering. I'm from Manassas, Virginia. So I like to say 20 minutes from DC so everyone knows where that actually is. And I brought my friend here, Ivan, with me today so we can talk a little bit more about just random things.
Yeah. So my name is Ivan. I'm also an environmental engineer as a junior. I'm from Orange County, California, near Anaheim, so right by where Disneyland is. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about my major.
Ivan, are you any chance from Fullerton?
So I'm like, do you know where Stanton is? Stanton's like
yes,
in Anaheim and Garden Grove.
Okay, because I'm from Fullerton, and I always say the exact same description when I say from OC. I'm like, I'm like kind of close to Anaheim, like 15 minutes drive from Disneyland.
Like,
you know where that is?
Like LA of LA County, basically. So.
Yeah, exactly that. It's so funny though. That's why anytime anyone gives that description, I'm like, I bet they're from Buena Park or Fullerton. But no one knows what that is.
Funny because like as a non-Californian, I'm like slowly learning and understanding the geography of California. So I used to think like, oh, okay, there's like North Bay, there's East Bay, there's South Bay. Like, what's West Bay? I used to ask people, and they're like, there's nothing West Bay. It is the ocean.
I've asked that question so many times, especially because I went to Berkeley this past weekend, and they're like, okay, we're going to like we're going to East Bay now. We're going to East Bay now. And I was like, okay, why is there East? Like, that's just the middle then. I just can't comprehend, but I don't know. Questioning Bay people about Bay people thing is like a whole
That's a
different
whole different
conversation.
conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. The Bay people like are so defensive of the Bay, especially at
Like,
USC for
yeah,
some
yeah, for
reason.
sure.
Yes, that is actually something I've experienced too.
Yeah, I've like learned the whole geography of the Bay from going to USC though, which is it's fun. It's fun. So diving into what this episode is all about, Ivan and Sejal are both in a club at USC called ASCE, which is American Society of Civil Engineers, and they're both also environmental engineers, which is a smaller program at USC, I would say. So I wanted to get them to give you guys the lowdown on everything related to their major, clubs they're involved in. So if you guys want to talk a little bit about how you even found yourself majoring in environmental, because I know it's something that not a lot of people talk about.
Yeah, so I mean, as a kid, I knew I always had a passion for the environment. Like, I forced my dad to start recycling at a young age. I read some random Judy B. Jones books on it, and I was like, you know
Oh my
what? I think we
gosh.
should start sorting out our boxes. So he started doing that for me, and I was like, okay, all it takes is like a conversation with somebody to change their
Mm.
perspective. And I was also very heavily involved in robotics as a kid, like from fifth grade all the way to senior year of high school, actually, I did
Oh wow.
robotics. So I knew I was like very hands-on with STEM and I knew I wanted to do something within engineering. I just didn't know that there was a way to combine those two
Yeah.
passions. And I found USC and I was like, wait, this is like exactly what I want to do. So it was actually just like a really cool thing to be able to see like both applications of my passions at school, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Ivan, what
I
about
have
you?
like a similar experience. I used to volunteer at the Aquarium Pacific over in Long Beach.
Oh, I
One of
love that aquarium. I one time, sorry to cut you off, but one time I had like
the,
a sleepover at that aquarium once.
What?
It
oh,
was
nice.
so,
Yeah, I heard of those.
yeah, it
What?
was
You guys
so fun.
was at aquariums?
Yeah, I don't know why, to be honest. They were just like, we're doing an overnight trip. It was like in sixth or seventh grade, and we
It's so
slept on the
odd.
ground, like right under the fish tanks.
Oh my
It
goodness.
was really random. Sorry, go ahead, Ivan.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah. So I used to volunteer at Aquarium Pacific, and one of the programs there is called Teen Climate Council. It
Mhm.
actually started when I was around ninth grade or eighth grade, and I was one of the co-founders of it. And then one of our models is making sustainability projects for tomorrow. And
Yeah.
I was wondering how I could incorporate that in the future for my major in college. And
Mhm.
then kind of like what Sejal said, I had like a STEM background in school. I loved math, I love physics, I love chemistry. So I was like looking through majors and I saw environmental engineering. It was like, oh, it combines my passion from the
Hmm.
aquarium, being a caterer to the environment, helping save the animals, and also my engineering STEM background. So I feel like environmental engineering was a good combination.
Hmm.
And for USC in general, I feel like the children experience I had for like admitted students day like really
Mhm.
delved me into USC.
Mm.
Um, Originally USC wasn't one of my top schools, I'll be honest, but the admitted students day, like that whole vibe with the community and stuff, really drawn me into the school. So
Mhm.
that's why I'm here as an environmental engineer as at USC.
I
Yeah,
love
and he
Admitted Students Day.
repping the Trojan merch. Like his water bottle's like Trojan side on. It's like a
Yeah.
Stanley dupe for like USC. And he's always wearing the colors. Like anytime I see him in classes, like
The
some kind of
cardinal
USC.
red on.
I also have a USC like shoes too.
Yeah, he has
Oh
the
my
USC
gosh.
too.
Yeah.
Wait, are they the like Vans that have like the logo like printed all over them?
I think these ones are the
These
like
ones are Nikes,
yeah, the
Nike
Nike ones
ones.
that were in the
Ooh.
store
Yeah.
last semester. Like they were like really
Yeah. I believe
popping.
it's Nike Pegasus, I want
Oh,
to say.
I think
Yeah.
so. I think so.
Wait, that's really cool. I've never seen those before. I feel like that's like a canon event for people though. Like they come and they're like, okay, I'm not gonna be one of those weird people that like are like
Has
throwing up a
weird-
fight on at the
Yeah.
airport. But then like
I
you low-key become one of those.
have a
Yeah.
funny story about a fight on at the airport.
Oh
So
no.
I have to fly back and forth a lot because
Mhm.
it's, from Virginia to here, it's a long flight. And one of the first times I was flying back from USC, I was wearing my USC hoodie.
Yeah.
And this woman at the airport, this was when I was boarding the plane. So she's sitting down in
Mhm.
her seat and she looks up at me and she throws a fight on. But for some reason, I hadn't like fully gotten accustomed to doing that yet. So I thought she was sneezing. And
Oh,
I
wait.
was like, bless you. Like it looked like her hand like kind of got stuck midair. I don't know if like she
Oh,
was
no,
trying
I
to
know.
avoid
It's
hitting
like
somebody.
yeah,
It was like it looked like a dab. So I was like, bless you. And she looked at me, she was like, huh? Like I was
She
like, what are
probably
you talking
thought you
about?
were like, oh wow, like
Yeah,
being
she
like a
was
little
like,
religious and being like, bless you, woman. Like,
yeah, she was like, huh? Like she got so scared of me and I felt so weird. I didn't know what to do. I went and sat in the plane and I was like, uh-oh. I literally
are
thought
you
about it the whole flight.
are you more accustomed to it now? Has it happened to you ever since?
It has happened to me ever since, and now I know like to actually fight on. And I know
Yeah.
that it's mean that they're sneezing.
My sister, especially because she also went to USC, she thinks it's hilarious. Like she will just yell it like out loud. If someone like shoots up, that sounds bad. But if someone like throws up a peace sign to her, like the fight on
Yeah.
sign, she'll like yell like fight on to the point where I almost get a little embarrassed. I'm like, what are you doing? And my dad always has his USC like dad cap on
Oh, the
too.
USC hat. My dad loves his USC hat.
Yeah, it's so bad. It's
I got my
like,
grandpa one, and he came to visit from Nepal last year. And
oh my
like when I
gosh,
call him, he's like wearing this hat around Nepal, and he's like telling everybody that it's from his granddaughter's school, and he
that's
just
so
won't take it
cute.
off unless my grandma washes it. Like,
No, my dad's hat has not. I'm like scared of what would come out of it if I soaked it right now because it's genuinely not even red anymore. That's how old it is.
you know?
Because I think he got the hat a decade ago. Um, and I think he's washed it like 3 times since.
Oh my goodness.
So it's fully like not, it's like gray at this point. And I tried getting him a new one and he doesn't wear it. So I don't know if he just
Oh,
has a favorite daughter or what's going on, but
oh
yeah,
no.
it's okay. It's
Oh
okay.
no. You should get him a beanie
Happens.
and see what happens then.
I got have a lot of free merch for some reason. I just keep accumulating it. And if I don't like it, I just give it to my dad.
I do too,
Um
yeah.
and he just wears the old cap. He's just like attached to it for some reason. It's okay. Maybe I'll get him one when I graduate. We'll see. So he has like a fresh one to wear at graduation.
Your graduation cap.
Yeah. Sorry to go off track, but Sejal, did you mention how, because I know Ivan, you said like wasn't one of your top choices, and Ms. Sunsei really kind of reeled you into USC. But Sejal, you're coming from like totally opposite end of the
Mhm.
coast. How did you find yourself at USC specifically?
Yeah. So actually, USC was the only California school I applied to,
Mm,
which is also really interesting, I think. Just because I know a lot of people here who are either from California or have applied to like a lot of different schools within
mhm.
California. But I applied through Questbridge, which
Oh,
is
okay,
a
nice.
like high achieving student platform. And if you get
Mhm.
selected, you could rank schools. So I ranked USC as one of my top schools. Like I think I ranked like
Nice.
5 maybe out of the 12 spots that you could rank, and
Mhm.
USC was number 2. I
Oh,
got
wow.
rejected from my number 1 school. And
It
typically how it
happens. It
works,
happens.
yeah, no, typically how it happens is that you like rank number 1, and then if you get accepted at number 1, it's kind of like early decision. You have to go.
Mm,
And then if you don't get accepted if you don't get accepted within the number 1 school, then the rest of the schools are kind of weighted as like regular decision.
uh-huh.
So I came into USC with the regular decision cycle, and I honestly was so happy I got rejected from that school because I cannot see myself anywhere else but here. And I used to hate the phrase at the time because everyone was like, rejection is redirection. And
Yeah,
I was
no, I
they
get
stopped
that.
talking to me. Like I was so sad, but I'm happy those people said those things to me because I
It
don't
worked
think
out in
I
the end.
yeah, exactly.
I feel like whenever I describe it to people where like you have that moment where you kind of fall in love with USC, they don't understand it. And I have tried to
Yeah.
explain it, and Maya was really good about it. She would just make guests like say, okay, give me 3 adjectives about USC. Like 3 adjectives you would describe USC as. And every time
Yeah.
I try to do it, I still get stumped. So if you guys have 3 adjectives, sorry to put you on the spot, but if like
No,
what are the
you're
3 that
good.
like first come to mind?
I've been thinking about him. Yeah. I feel
I know
like
it takes a minute.
we're such
I just
like
realized I was thinking of
yeah.
nouns instead of adjectives.
Honestly, nouns work too. Any like 3 words to describe it.
Hi there, it's Brooke, one of your Viterbi admission counselors with your mid-podcast message. I want to tell you about our year-round on-campus Visit Viterbi experiences. They're the best way to get to know more about our Viterbi programs. It's a 90-minute session focused on first-year applicants, and it includes an overview of our academic programs and admission process. It's led by one of our very own USC Viterbi admission counselors. So if you'd like to join us on campus, we would love to meet you. Please visit viterbi.link/events. That's VITERBI.link/events to reserve your Visit Viterbi experience. Now back to the podcast.
I just feel like the word community, even though that's like a
Mm,
very
Yeah.
like large, I feel like that word encompasses a lot of different things.
mm,
US is one of the more like most community places I've ever seen. Like everywhere you see a community.
yeah.
Yeah. A lot of clubs to help with that community too, and like a lot of classes to meet new people.
Mm.
Yeah, that's so true. Like even within like clubs, classes, like especially within our major, like environmental engineering is one of the smaller majors I would say that I've experienced in being
Yeah.
around. And in Viterbi specifically, like our cohort, our year is only 6 students.
Oh,
Just like
wow.
our cohort, yeah.
So very
Like
intimate setting.
right, exactly. So it's like I'm with these 6 students like almost every day of my schedule. Like we're always in the same classes, and it's
Mhm.
so like it's honestly really nice to walk into a class and the only person you don't know is the professor,
Yeah.
and even that is within the first week of lectures.
So you're like
So it's like
outnumbering him.
yeah, no, literally, like it's like I don't know. It's just like a nice vibe that we can just be that close with our teachers.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like that was like whole encompassing anyways. Like you don't even need to give me the other two. That was a really good one.
Not
I
about the
like that
two
one.
words.
That
Honestly,
one
I
was
feel
really
like
good.
a good words for the other two would be something like rigorous and something playful.
Mm.
I'm trying to think of another word for playful, but I feel like USC is really good school that it's both rigorous and also like fun and playful. Like
Yeah.
you could
No, I
be like
always hear
hard,
that.
yeah,
It's
like
always
hard
like,
active rigor throughout the day, and then like
yeah.
at night or like on the weekends you could have fun with your friends and stuff.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
USC is like one of the most work hard play hard schools that I've heard
Yeah.
of. Like
Work hard.
everyone is showing up to 8 a.m., but then they are like up to no good on the weekends doing like 10 things. Like my friends like go skiing like every weekend during spring
Oh my
semester because
goodness.
they're like in snow club. Or like one of my friends, I don't even know what she's doing this weekend, but she like ends up traveling to somewhere in LA, like going to
That's
a new
super.
spot. So, and
Yeah,
she's
I
like the
have like
smartest person I know.
I love like the coffee hops, like the matcha run.
Mm,
I try to find the best
wait,
matcha in the like
wait
matcha
right
in the
now.
cafes and
Oh,
whatnot
wait.
around, which is nice.
Sweet. But I have my
Ivan's
matcha
Disney
right here.
Warriors. He's always at Disney.
Yeah.
Oh my, do you have a Disney pass?
So I'm actually a cast member at Disneyland actually.
Oh my
Yeah.
Isn't that
gosh. Wait, like what is it called? Like which actor are you?
So I'm a lifeguard. So I work at the hotels as a
Oh,
lifeguard, and then all three hotels basically keep the guests safe and also foster magic that way too.
oh my
Aw.
gosh. Wait, that was such a Disney
That's
answer. I
Disney
really like
lingo,
that.
monster magic.
Wait, so do you work on the weekends or like how does that schedule work with your
Yeah,
school?
I mostly work on the weekends. Right now it's winter season, so I work less. But I
Mhm.
know like start of fall semester and like summer, like I was working a lot over the weekend.
Yeah.
But
Wait, that's
it's good to
sick.
balance. Yeah.
That's so fun. And Sejal, you're interning during the school year too right now too, right?
Yes, I am actually. Yeah.
How is that going?
It's going well. I would say it's like it's a very flexible internship. Like the my cohort is really nice and they're like very understanding that I'm a student and also it's nice that it's remote
Mhm.
because I know most people that go into the office are like my project manager, he's one of the only people that goes into the office every day. The rest of the people in my group stay at home and work from home.
Mhm.
So I've kind of communicated with them that I do a few hours here and there on certain days. And so like I have this certain amount of hours of availability during the week and then I meet
Yeah.
that requirement. They give me some work to do on my own. And then it's like it's nice because it's like I can kind of manage it on my own time.
Uh-huh.
So I do appreciate that. But I would like to see more of the people and kind of interact with them in
Yeah,
person. Like I think
totally.
I'm missing that aspect from being at home.
Mhm.
Um, but hopefully that will be this summer, which
What are
I'm
you
looking for.
working on for the team? Am I allowed to ask that? I know you on the
Yeah.
Instagram reel, you were a little like, oh, like I can't show my work.
It's I mean, it's a little it's like classified, like the
Yeah.
content side, but I can say that like Tetra Tech as a company does remediation work for different buildings and things. So it's kind of like if we were to build a new building right in the middle of campus,
Mhm.
but in the 60s they poured oil onto the soil that was here. We were in charge of like cleaning out that soil and also making
Ah,
that it's at a safe contaminant level so that when the new building is made, it doesn't add on other issues onto that soil, if that makes sense.
that's really cool. Oh my gosh. Very
I heard there
environmental
were
engineering.
It is, it really is. I'm like, this is what we're doing, this is what I'm studying. But they were showing us like schematics and on my last shift, which was
Mhm.
what I put in the reel. But those schematics are very similar to things that we're even looking at in classes, and I've never seen like
Ah,
parallels between classes and like the workforce before. So
yeah.
it's just like mind blowing that this is real. Like, I don't know, I have these moments where I'm like, this is like a real human impact. This is like a
No,
real thing
I
that
get that. That was me this summer because I feel like it was the first time I was interning and um there you have a class in computer science where you're supposed to like kind of mimic what a software engineer's life looks like. But I'm
Oh,
like,
I see.
okay, it's just class. Like it doesn't feel real right away. And then you get
Yeah.
to a setting where it's like this impacts people. Like this could be live one day. And you're like, what am I
Mhm.
doing? Like I shouldn't be writing up the code that could be implemented and like can be seen by real people. Like it's crazy to think about.
Yeah, like it's like what you're doing actually has an impact.
Yeah. Circling back to the community part, I know you guys mentioned that clubs helped a lot with finding your place at USC and like kind of turning into the community that it is now. Kind of redirecting back to
Mhm.
American Society of Civil Engineers. Could you guys talk a little bit about that, how you got involved in that? Tell the people what it even is, what it encompasses, all, like the whole lowdown.
Okay, so ASCE as a whole is a branch of like it's kind of like a national branch that encompasses all of civil engineering, but it also includes environmental engineering just because environmental engineering is like a big or one of the bigger like chapters within civil engineering, I would say,
Mhm.
like as on a national level. So ASCE has a lot of cool programs, and some of those include like student chapters within school. So a lot of universities have ASCE chapters, but then they also host like events outside of that specific student chapters. So I actually got my first engagement with ASCE through something outside of USC, like not
Oh,
USC's ASCE, but like US, it was like a South LA like ASCE kind of job fair night, and I
yeah.
went to that event, and then I saw a lot of people from from my major and from the school here, and I was like, wait, are you guys in like the student chapter? And they were like, yeah, you should get more involved. So
Mm.
that's kind of how I got connected with ASCE at first. And this isn't my first year really doing a lot more within ASCE because they just opened up a sub team.
Oh,
Because
cool.
basically, I'm going all over the place with the explanation
No,
here,
no,
but
go
there's
ahead.
a lot of different sub teams within ASCE,
Yeah.
and these teams all compete at a national conference. Last year it was held in where was it? I think
Last year was in Hawaii, I
yeah,
believe.
Oh,
yeah.
Uh,
this is where you guys do the concrete canoe, correct?
Yeah,
yes,
so this
correct.
is
Yeah.
like
Okay.
ASCE not only like the sub teams that I'm more exposed to, it's encompassing all of the civil engineering and environmental
Yeah,
engineering clubs at USC, basically. Like most of them are all under ASCE. So it's
got
kind of a
it.
huge there.
That's
Yeah.
really cool. Also for
Yeah, so like
context. Oh wait, no, go ahead. Finish your description and then I'll like circle back.
Yeah.
yeah. So like you said, Concrete Canoe is one of the sub teams. One of the
Uh-huh.
sub teams I am on is environmental design. So a lot of
Mhm.
environmental engineers or civil with environmental emphasis engineers are in that club or in
Uh-huh.
that sorry, that sub team. And what we do is like do wastewater treatment. So
Oh,
part of the team is that we have like this like water that has some like contaminants in it, whether it be like salts or like some soil, minerals, all that stuff. And we have to like design like some sort of like contraption or wastewater treatment design in
yeah.
order to alleviate that water.
Mhm.
The water is not necessarily for drinking, it's more for like potable use, like for like gardening and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Mm.
So enough so we could treat the wastewater in order to be used for that, like eh, for that stuff.
Wait, so you guys all fly out to Hawaii together as a team and then you get there and then do you build the contraption like day of, or is it something you kind of bring with you as you're coming to the competition?
Concrete Canoe, which is one of the ASCE teams, they have like a build day where you build the actual canoe within the makerspace at
Uh-huh.
USC, and then they actually get that shipped to Hawaii. And then the team members who are in
Oh.
Concrete Canoe go and fly out and stay and do the competition nationally.
Uh-huh.
And so this year they're doing that, but in Cal Poly Slow, right? I think.
Yeah, this year's not in Hawaii, unfortunately. It's only at Cal Poly Flow. But
Yeah.
it's still like a retreat, I would say. Like we would
Yeah.
go there for the
It
weekend.
might be Pomona if I'm
Pomona. Yeah, sorry, Pomona,
yeah, Cal Poly
right.
Pomona.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Because I was gonna say Slow is like they have like cool beaches and there's like line dancing up there sometimes. But Pomona, I don't know if you'll get that, but I'm sure it'll still be a good like getaway weekend with your whole team.
Yeah, no, Mitch was describing it as if you're from Virginia, then you'll be like, oh my God, we're going to California. But if you're from California, then it's not as exciting.
No, I get that. I feel like people are just like, "Oh, Inland Empire? Question mark? Why are you going there?" But it'll still be fun. I feel like anytime you're like getting away with like your team and you just like kind of get to escape USC for a weekend, it always ends up being fun.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. It's just like a very huge program. There's so many different sub teams. Like the
Mhm.
environmental sub team that Ivan talked about is just one of the few sub teams, and Conquer Canoe is just one of the different clubs within ASCE. Another one that just started up this semester actually is called Sustainable Solutions,
Mhm.
and this is something that both Ivan are in. And it's a this one we're trying to reconstruct an old building that's already pre-existing, and we're going to reconstruct it to be fully renewable and innovative.
Oh,
So we got to like
wow.
break it down like to the smallest dollar amount of what changes we're going to make and how we're going to implement those changes. So it's going to be like a very I think intensive project, but
Mhm.
this is also something that goes to competition, and the best plan ultimately wins.
That's crazy. Do you mind me
Uh,
asking like what you win? Like what is the prize if you place in this competition?
so you get money, I think, right, for first
I
place?
believe it's money, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure for the
Oh.
other design teams, but I know for Sustainable Solutions, you get like 2 grand for first
Oh
place
wow.
and a
Mhm.
trophy, of course.
Yeah, and
That's all that
somehow,
matters.
yeah,
The
the
picture
trophy
with
that
the
matters.
trophy at the end.
The closet full of trophies, that's what
Yeah.
matters. It's in cap.
I've always wanted, I remember like sophomore year, I found out about Concrete Canoe and I heard they were going to Hawaii and I sent an email. I think I still have it. It's like an email I sent to civil engineering, like the civil engineering club. And I was like, can I please join? And they're like, yeah, but what major are you? And I was like, I'm computer science. And they're like, okay, sure, if you want to. But it just sounded so cool. Like I just wanted to show up and like paint a canoe one day, but I decided against it. But that sounds so fun. I wish I got involved with it just to like see how it was.
Yeah, I mean, you could still get involved. I know they build one every year, so
Mm.
you could definitely join this year too. Just go in on built like canoe day and just like get your hands on the canoe, because
Yeah.
that's what they're taking as like participation or to verify membership. If
Uh,
you put your hand in the canoe, you're like an official member. So
no way.
you're like
Just like a
within the
picture of
concrete
you
canoe.
with it.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I was trying to also like explain it to my dad because I told him about this email and he's like, I don't understand how concrete is even making it on the water. And I was like, that's the whole point of the competition. Um, but I still to this day don't think he understands, but it's okay. You're
It's
also
okay.
involved in, oh wait, was there anything else you guys wanted to like kind of say about civil engineering or this club specifically? Otherwise, we can dive into some of your other involvements.
Yeah, I mean, I think for ASC as a whole, like that job fair that I went to was really cool.
Mm,
And I think like as a student in such a small program, like I feel like civil engineering is larger than environmental engineering. Like as a student in environmental engineering coming into USC, like any advice I would have for people to just join ASCE, because it's like such an inclusive program and you can do so many things and there's so many different types of things. Like it's overwhelming to even try to explain all the stuff that they have. So
yeah.
just a little
And
plug there.
I'll put the website link somewhere in the description of this episode if you want to check it out because their website covers like almost all the competitions they're involved in. I was researching a little before this episode just because I don't even know the scope of all that you guys do and I've been here for plenty of years at this point. And every time I visit the website, I feel like there's a new picture uploaded of some competition you guys are involved
Yeah.
in. So it's really cool. Um, and it's also just interesting, like as a CS major, specifically seeing all the other design teams that are out there, because I feel like mine is definitely more software slash electronic based stuff. So I always love seeing like what the other side of Viterbi is up to.
Right, like it's like two halves that make up the whole, and that there's like the software, like the brain, and then there's like the like hardware, the physical stuff.
Yeah, totally. Also, Sejal, you're involved in Formula SAE, right? What
Yes.
SAE stands for Society of Automotive Engineers, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay,
And it's
okay.
like basically Formula's way of saying like an university chapter.
Mhm.
And I was heavily involved my freshman year. I went like every week, and I was involved in this composite sub team. So basically, in the composite sub team, we outline the interior and exterior like pieces of the actual car.
Mhm.
So the aero design team designs it on CAD and creates like all these cool models for us to print out the parts, and then we design it based off of the parts that are printed out. Like we have to cut them and do carbon fiber layups to see like how sturdy it'll be, and then test those pieces and let them dry properly. So it's like a very hands-on process that takes anywhere from I would say a week to 3 weeks even sometimes for
Oh
every
wow,
individual
okay.
part that we make. And it was just cool to just hop in on shop hours and get my hands a little dirty, quite literally,
Yeah.
because we were cutting resin and using gloves and things. Yeah, so it was just like a very nice opportunity to get hands-on with a club
Mhm.
outside of like, because it's very, I think, very mechanical heavy, like that
Yeah.
program. There's a lot of mechanical engineers, but it's open to anybody. So I felt very welcome, even though I wasn't in mechanical engineering.
And the anytime prospective students come to the makerspace, they love seeing the SAE cars because it's always
No,
like
I
in the in the backside of the makerspace, and they have like a whole garage
yeah.
area. And all the so many students ask me if they can like sit in the car, and I'm like,
You
no.
can't you can't sit in the car, but you can you need a driver's license and you need to be a USC student to drive the car.
Mm.
But they take like they obviously see like they do simulations with like virtual reality driving
Oh,
to
cool.
test to see like what knowledge level you're at in terms of driving. I know one of my friends was interested in driving freshman year.
Mhm.
And so he bought all this cool like gaming material so that he could practice. And I was like, how does this translate to the real car? I don't know if I would trust myself around you in this car.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Also, like, how do they even decide on who the final driver is? Like, do you just keep doing the virtual and like race like virtually to see?
I think they start off with that and then they like actually test it out with real drivers and see like who goes the fastest and maybe who's more confident and who's able to do it.
Got it.
Just because like a lot of people who are interested in driving, like for me, example, I'm not really interested in driving. I don't even like driving
Yeah.
I don't like driving in LA. Like I'm not gonna drive this race car.
Driving LA is like a whole different beast though. Like I think I would honestly drive better on a racetrack than the people around me in LA.
No, I can't even drive what's that one ride at Disney where you're in between the tracks?
Oh, Autopia.
Autopia. I can't even do
Oh
that.
my
Like,
gosh. You don't even have to do anything for that one.
no.
That's so
I
funny.
drive janky, so I don't know. But I do think they do like simulations and then they take them in person at like a test place where they drive around and then they decide based off of that. But I was more involved in like the actual
Building of
hands-on
the
in
car.
building. Yeah. So like I never really went to any of the test races, which I wish I did. But I feel like after a while of doing that, I think I deviated more towards things within my major because I realized
Yeah.
like people like there's nothing wrong with like having different communities within each major,
Totally.
right? But here's going back to the USC and community, like
Yeah.
they have community and I wanted to like find my own too, which is
Oh,
nice.
yeah, that makes sense. Are there any other clubs or communities that you found within environmental engineering specifically?
Um,
Well, I know one that's like engineering science related. In freshman year, I joined what is it
this
called?
National Society of was it like the Society of Asian Engineers?
Yes,
Yeah.
Society
Oh,
of
nice.
Asian Scientists and Engineers, so SACE for short. It was like fostered community there. My freshman year, we were put in this like little freshman cohort, and we would have like coffee chats with other scientists and engineers of around USC that are also Asian American. And I
Yeah.
made some friends that way. And they also have a big and little program. So I actually
Oh,
have like a
cute.
big, like a civil engineer that was a senior when I was freshman that I talked to my freshman year. And that's also where I met some of my other civil environmental friends as well. So
Oh,
it was pretty cool.
That's so fun. I've never even heard of that club. That's so cool.
Yeah,
Sejal
it's a
also
really
mentioned you were in Troy, Philippines, right?
yes. I'm also in Troy, Philippines. It's probably one of my most active clubs on campus. I identify as Filipino American. I'm actually on e-board this year.
Oh, what's
I'm
your
a
position?
Filipinx American Culture events coordinator, so ACE coordinator. It's a little plug for Troy Phi. But on April, I'm hosting like a cultural event with my other core coordinators, like about Filipino culture. This year's theme is Pamana, which is heritage in Tagalog. So we're celebrating our culture there. And what I love about Troy Phi, it's a very like community oriented club. It's not just Filipinos, it's a bunch of like Filipinos and Filipino friends. We focus on building connections, fostering the community, and just having fun with fellow students around campus. It's
That's
pretty
so
cool.
Yeah,
cool.
I'm pretty busy every weekend. And I'm always doing something for Troy Pie.
Yeah, I'm always doing something for Troy Pie.
Are you gonna be a part of the dances for the culture show?
I will be actually.
Oh
So
my
if you want to
gosh.
see me again, come by Sunday, April 20th.
Shameless plug, guys, pull up if you're in the LA area. You can see Ivan dance. Because my high school used to have their dance practice for the Filipino club like in the middle of the quad. So every time we were out there waiting for like our basketball practice to start, we would just like join in on their dances sometimes. So I can like sorry, I forget the name of it. Like where you
One with the sticks, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's called Tunikling. That's one of the dances
Yes.
that I might be in. So
Oh, that's super cool.
I think I'm like muscle memory might be able to do like one or two moves for that, but like that's my cap. But that's really cool. It's so hard though. Like I tried it once and like I almost got my foot cut off. It was not good.
Maybe
But
Sunday can Troy Pie now.
yeah,
I'm gonna send them an email too.
yeah. The little history about Tunikling is that like it's supposed to be like doing like you're like a caged bird escaping. So that's why like when the sticks like clap or like
yeah.
you're like a bird that just like slightly escaped from being caught. So that's why it's
that's
like
so cool.
you're dancing on sticks, but they're actually like bird cages in a way.
Oh
So
my gosh.
Wow.
a little culture behind
It's
that.
so cool to see like the culture behind dances. Like that
Mm.
just changes your whole perspective.
Yeah. It changed
Yeah.
my whole perspective too. It makes it kind of more fun, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
you're just escaping
Yeah.
captivity.
It'll honestly change the way I dance, like if I knew that in the back of my mind. Like I feel like it would like add a little component to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because even at this is a tangent, but even at the USC like dance classes I've taken, like when you learn the
Mm.
history of like certain dance moves, I feel like it just like makes more sense. Like you get in the
Yeah,
rhythm of it a little bit more.
that
I don't
does
know
make
if you
sense.
guys like have you guys taken any like weird classes or like dance classes at USC or like anything that like is totally unrelated to your major?
We didn't take, I mean, I don't know, have you taken like a dance class? Because I haven't taken a dance class, but we actually took a writing class together.
Mm.
We happened to also go to Australia in that writing class because it was the
Oh
Written
my
Yeah.
340 like
gosh.
Halloween class. So we went to Australia for 2 weeks, which is
Was
super
that last
funny.
semester?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
last
It was really
semester.
fun. I made a lot of friends in that class.
Yeah,
A little community plug.
yeah,
But
community
Theme
plugging
of this
in.
episode, just community.
Community, that should be the title.
I'll
No,
find
I
a way
mean,
to throw in the title somewhere.
um,
How was
um,
Australia though?
it was super
really
cool.
fun.
Like we didn't. I mean, I mean, I obviously knew Ivan before that, but
Mm.
I didn't really know him as well. And then when we were in Australia, I was like, wait a minute, like I actually know you. So it's just kind of funny that like I feel like we became better friends in Australia than we did
Mm.
like here.
Yeah. We became really close, like not just with Sejal, but like with the other people in the program
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, that makes was it a lot of people from your major? Or was it just pe like randoms from a like ton of different
We
majors
had we
coming
had one
together?
other environmental engineer,
Mm.
a couple of
And
civil, but then it was mostly other people like mechanical,
Oh,
computer science,
cool.
yeah,
kept some chemical engineers too.
I think
Like
somebody electrical
yeah,
too.
basically
Yeah.
like a huge mix of Viterbi kids for
That's
sure.
so fun. Oh my gosh, I would love to do that. I wish I knew about because I took RIT. This is RIT through what is it called?
340.
340.
340.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
took that because I was a transfer, so I took it my first semester. So I didn't even know about the study abroad ones when I was taking it, but I wish I had saved it so I could do one of like because I know they've done like a Berlin one, a Tokyo one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're trying to do another Tokyo program. It's not even like a class requirement or anything like that. It's just
Mhm.
like a fun class that you could take, but it's within Viterbi and it's for Viterbi students.
Oh,
And you go to Tokyo, I think, in your spring break. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, I
Spring
think
break?
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's so
So it's
cool.
taught by the same professor who taught our RIT class. So I really want to take it again because she's super cool. So
So what exactly are you learning in Australia in relation to the class?
so
So the main topic of the class is like doing environmental engineering.
but
Mm.
kind of in a sustainability initiative also.
Yeah.
Ah,
So
okay.
we had different tours across Sydney because it was in Sydney, Australia. We did
Yeah.
like architectural tours, we did tours of like different buildings, we did tours of the Harbour Bridge as well as the Sydney Opera House.
Oh,
And they kind
cool.
of went into like the technical design of those things.
Nice.
And another really cool thing is that we learned about how like Sydney as a city operates based off of its people that live there. So for example, like I know in LA you can kind of see a lot of gentrification within
Yeah.
how the buildings are set up.
Mhm.
Sydney makes an effort to like consult its community, and within
That's
their like
awesome.
Chinatown, they have a large like Asian population, so they communicate with the population and get opinions from them before they make changes to buildings and things, which is like
That's
something that I've never
amazing.
seen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never heard of that. That's awesome. Oh my
Yeah, and one of the
gosh.
assignments we had for RIT class is we had to write about a topic that was inspired by Sydney
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
or Australia. So my topic was about transportation because in Sydney we have like the light rail, the trains,
Yeah, yeah,
basically
yeah.
public transportation compared to Los Angeles.
Uh,
Yeah.
So one of my things was researching about how to make LA transportation better, like through bus
I would
systems.
love that. Please figure
Yeah,
that out, please.
exactly. Yeah, one of my research points was making sure like the buses are connected some way to like the red light green light system. Like
Mm-hmm.
buses
Right.
would have like right of way and like green lights, red lights, so it encourages more people to take the buses. So
Mm-hmm.
that's
That's
all encouraged
smart.
by like Sydney's really pristine public transportation.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Because they
would
also have
love.
like a lot of ferries because Sydney's like inland a little bit, but it's
Yeah.
surrounded by water or bodies of water all around it.
Uh-huh.
So take ferries from one end to the other just so they don't have to go
Mm,
around the land.
yeah.
And they were trying to electrify their ferry system too, which I was like really fascinated by because I
Yeah,
know
that's
even though that was
awesome.
like a environmental engineering trip or anything like that, like I feel like the people who are in civil environmental found a lot of different things to connect with, like what they're studying and how to like apply that
Uh-huh.
in our research and things like that.
That's really cool. I would love a good walkable LA. Like I wish I could just hop on a train and actually not have to wait. Like getting anywhere in LA by bus takes you a minimum of like 45 minutes, even if it's like
Yeah,
3 miles away. So I
like the
would dabble
crazy
in it
group.
my sophomore year when I didn't have a car, but now that I have a car, I don't even look
Yeah.
at the bus stations because it's like slower than like if I would just walk the whole distance.
Yeah, sometimes I think it's like even the same distance, like or same time to like walk and take
Yeah.
a bus, which I think is absurd. But funnily enough, Sydney based its design on like how walkable it is based off
Uh-huh.
of like
Some
cities in the
European countries.
yeah, and then also cities in the
Ah.
US. Like they base it off of they said they took inspiration from LA architecture, which I think
Oh,
is so funny.
interesting. They like took LA, but they like
They made
elevated
it
it.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully we can bring it back here. And it's gonna be Ivan that's gonna make it happen. I have faith. One day,
Yes.
Yeah.
one day. I feel like that wraps up a lot of what I wanted to talk to you guys about. If there's anything else you want to give advice to for incoming people who are either thinking about applying to environmental, even are just like slightly interested in it or have already gone in, because I know early action decisions came out recently. So
Yeah.
any advice?
Well, first of all, congratulations for those who are listening who got in. I think USC is a wonderful place for environmental engineering. There are countless of opportunities. You can kind of dabble here and there. You can go to Sydney, you can stay in LA, whatever you choose. I say just like follow your heart, as cheesy as that is, just
Mhm.
because there's so many things here that I feel like if I didn't step out of my comfort zone and followed my heart with, like I wouldn't have had exposure to it in the first place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
another thing I would say is believe in yourself. Just because you came out of high school maybe being a little shy or anything like that, in college you could basically change your whole like trajectory if you want. You
Hmm.
Yeah.
could try new things. One thing my freshman year is like I tried many new things, like grew in love with some of them.
Mm.
So definitely be go out of your comfort zone and try new things and just like have fun. As long as
Exactly.
you're having fun, it should all work out at the end.
That is so
Yeah.
true.
I hope you guys all take the advice from Sejal and Ivan to heart, because that's something that I even am constantly reminding myself of as a senior to this
Yes.
day. And I wish I ingrained that more when I was applying, or even just like at the end of my high school experience. Especially if you're a senior right now, make sure you have a good time in your last semester and don't be scared for college. College is an amazing 4 years and you're gonna have a great time. Just
Yeah.
don't be scared and you're gonna kill it. I think that covers everything. I don't want to take too much of your time because I know this is like kind of an awkward time in the day to be filming this episode. But thank you too for joining me. And I
So
hope to see you
much.
Thank you so
guys.
much.
Oh, sorry. I hope to see you guys on a future episode potentially if you guys are interested. But
Yeah.
that's all for now. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Bye bye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
And we're back. I hope you all enjoyed that episode. I haven't recorded many episodes myself this season, so
Yeah.
I hope I did a good job. I'm a little rusty, but I think it went pretty well in my opinion. I hope all the prospective students enjoyed it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Um, when you, I mean, knowing students around here and everybody does something slightly different, what's
Mhm.
something that was new to you that you had, no idea that civil and environmental engineers do, like that's regular for them?
Mm. I think I think it's just interesting seeing how their mindset of engineering is different from the people I'm surrounded by, because I'm typically more involved with people in electrical engineering or computer engineering. So it's definitely more software slash hardware focused rather than the actual physical components of it. So they were talking about how they both did RIT 340, but the study abroad one, which was a sustainability focus in Australia. So they were talking all about the transportation system there, how different buildings are structured there and the inspiration they take. And it's just interesting seeing like how different their coursework is and how different their minds are oriented to notice such like small nuances in buildings even around USC's campus, when they were traveling in Australia, the different architecture they saw there. And then also within the civil engineering club that they're in, they were mentioning how the team always travels together to these big competitions and they have like the concrete canoe competition. They're both involved in a competition where they have to clean some contaminated water,
Hmm.
which I found really cool. So it was a good experience chatting with them and catching up with them.
Great. Very, very cool. And how is your life going in senior year now? Because like, first of all, I can't believe it's still January. Like this
Yeah,
feels like the longest January
it has been
ever.
a month because winter break felt very long this year for some reason.
Mm,
And then I came to school. I am a couple days into school was in Berkeley for this past weekend, and then
okay.
I'm back. So it's been a lot going on. But senior year is off to a good start in my opinion. The stress hasn't settled in. I am in a ceramics class, which has been really fun and good to de-stress in. And I have a lot of fun things planned for the rest of the semester. It's off to a good start.
Very cool. Well, your audio just changed all of a sudden.
Is it better now?
Yeah, now it is. That was
Okay.
really, oh my gosh, that was so crazy. I wonder if it's going to come through in the recording.
Hopefully, I'll fix that.
It's
I'll
like
fix that.
you switched to a whole different mic. That was like,
It's so weird.
oh my, oh, it was like there was a ghost in the system. That was so funny. Uh, awesome. What are you looking forward to in the coming months? I mean,
Ooh,
I'm not trying to say you're running out of time, but I'm saying,
no, but I'm running out of time. It's
there's a
okay.
few months ahead. So what are you looking forward to? What's coming up that you're like, oh, this is happening.
I am gonna go snowboarding. Or I'm gonna say for the first time because the first time I actually went was not very good. So I'm gonna go again, and hopefully get better at it. I'm going to Mammoth with my sister and a couple of our friends. So I'm looking forward to that. What else do I have going on? I'm gonna be back in the Bay in a couple weeks for a conference. Very excited for that. Gonna see all of my friends that live up in NorCal. Um, what else do I have? I feel like I have a
You're spending a
couple.
lot of time in the Bay Area. I'm hearing that twice now, like in the
Yeah,
last 2 weeks.
this will be my the when I go in February, that'll be my third time of the year, which is a lot, I would say, for
Yeah.
for only being the first couple weeks of the year still.
And you're just
Um,
hanging out. You're just like having like just hanging out and having fun.
the first time I went was for helping to plan the conference.
Got it.
The second time I went was just a trip with some high school friends and my roommate, and then the third time I'm going is for the actual conference.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
And where? In Berkeley?
Um, I went to Berkeley last weekend, but then the conference is in San Francisco, so I will be there.
Very
I
cool.
also just love the Bay. I think it's a great area. I hopefully will end up there in some time after graduation, but we'll see
Right.
where we go from there.
Right. And speaking of graduation and the job search, not to throw all the pressure on you, but how is that looking? How are you feeling? Are we just rolling right now, or what's up? What's happening?
Yeah, we're just kind of feeling things out right now. I don't want to jinx anything yet, but hopefully
But you're
we'll,
talking to some companies, you got some fires in the
yeah,
iron. You're just,
maybe might go
you
back
wouldn't need
to
to jinx anything.
maybe we'll go back to the company I was at last summer. That's the one that was in New York. Um, Potentially might be in the Bay, still unsure, but once I get an update, I will be singing from the top of the roof and I will let you all know so we can celebrate all together. But as of right now, just feeling things out, hopefully praying that some things work out. That's all.
Okay.
That's what I'll say for now.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Well, where are we? We are in,
Only the second week of school. I feel like it's been way longer than
is
that.
this the second week?
Yeah, it's only the second
Oh
week.
my God. There's a lot of stuff we packed into this last couple weeks. Okay, so we're wrapping up January almost here.
Mhm.
This admission decisions went out for early action last week, and so
Mhm.
we've got people excited. We've got a big admission event for admitted students this Sunday. It's a virtual event to say hi to all of them, and we'll see
Mhm.
them then. And then, if you have been admitted and you are looking to learn more about this place, I think the one thing that I will say, I'll shout from the rooftops is don't just schedule a campus tour. Don't just come for one of our info sessions. We have specific admitted student events that happen in the month of April that I want you to sign up for. I know it feels like a long way away, but if you just come now, again, you're more than welcome to, but you're just not going to get the same experience and you're not going to get the information that you need in a kind of typical campus visit right now. The typical campus visits are really designed for high school juniors or someone who's trying to decide whether they want to apply. And like, for example, I know we have someone coming on Monday. I know they've been admitted, and I'm not going to tell them they can't come, but I just want to let them know, like, hey, feel free to keep coming if you're close by. But like, there's some really cool things that happen in April with Explore USC if you've been admitted. So really, really, if you're going to schedule this, if you're going to make flights, look at those dates. For everyone that has just finished applying last week and got their application in for regular decision, you should know. But we will When I say we, the university will be making admission decisions, and we'll get that out to you by the end of March. So we still got plenty of time. We got lots of stuff to do, lots of stuff to read, lots of stuff to review, and there's lots of opportunities between now and then for things to happen. So just sit tight, and hopefully, if you're a senior in high school, just enjoy that senior year, similar to how we're talking about with Saafiyah, for you to enjoy your senior year and really
Fingers
get as
crossed.
much of this, as much of this as you possibly can. Other than that, we are rolling right along. If you are a junior, we have so many possibilities and ways in which you can visit campus. Go to viterbi.link/visit, viterbi.link/visit to check out all of our opportunities to visit. Especially, we have a bunch of them coming up for that President's Day week. We've got, I think, an event going on every single day that week, most Mondays and Fridays, a couple Wednesdays thrown in out there. When we get into the March and the spring break dates, there's lots of availability there. So please book now. It does get booked up. And so if you are thinking about visiting, please get that booked up now and reserve your spot for one of our Viterbi visit experiences, so you can get a sense of this place, understand what it's all about, see some things, meet some students, and kind of find out whether this is a place you'd like to further explore, maybe apply to. Other than that, I think we should get out of the way and go home. And maybe we'll come back next week with another episode of Viterbi Voices. Bye.